Well, here's something you don't see every day. I was out shooting a video the last couple of days, getting some footage for a hand loading test, and I was going from one point of the range to another, and I came across a creature that had gotten caught up in some black web mesh netting that they use to hold the soil next to roads, on service roads and wind turbine roads. It's a very tough, extremely tight, non-forgiving net type of material. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's like wire. It's almost like spider wire fishing line. But snakes will be going after prey or just traveling along, and some of that matting will get puffed up above the ground by the cows and just erosion and wind. And when they crawl into that, they reach a certain point where they can't go any further and they try to back out, and when they try to back out, the mesh netting gets up under their scales and they're stuck. Now, there were 3 of these snakes stuck in the same ball of netting. 2 were already dead, and the crows were having dinner on them. This one was still alive and was fending off the crows all by itself, while at the same time it was stuck in this mesh about 8 inches back from its head. See if I can zoom in. Now, one of the neat things about it is these types of snakes are in the racer breed. They're extremely fast, very fast, and due to that, getting your hands on one of these, something very few people do, simply because you'd have to be a horse to catch them. I mean, they literally are that fast. Now, you can see this spot right here on his back that's a little bit swollen, and you can see that the scales are somewhat disturbed, and that's due to the minor injuries he received trying to get it unwrapped from that crap. You can see he's swelled up a little there, but he didn't have any major injuries. It was all basically just a few scales pulled back on the belly and on his back and his sides. And amazingly enough, these snakes, being of the temperament they usually are, and being known for their speed and agility and being so quick and so fast, they're usually the kind of snake that you can't even get your hands on, and if you do get your hand on him, well, he doesn't like being there. Now, while I was trying to cut this snake out from the mesh, on my initial reach just to put my hand behind his head and hold him steady, he just only lightly struck at me one time. I figured, well, he's weak. I'm pretty sure he'd been there for at least a day, maybe a little longer. But once I had my hand around his neck and I was just holding loosely and was cutting the webbing, he became very docile and very cooperative. And I got him and the net that was around him cut away from the main ball of net, and then I took him over to the truck and got out my surgical scissors and proceeded to cut the rest of the webbing away. Now, I'm holding him very loosely, and he wasn't squirming or thrashing, wasn't trying to bite me. He was very calm. And once I got all the webbing cut away from him and out from under his scales, I went to the back of the truck and poured some bottled water in a little cavity, and while I was holding him with just light pressure in my hand, I put his head down to the puddle and he drank from the water while he was in my hands. That is a fairly rare occurrence for a snake to eat or drink while a human is holding it, especially one that was born in the wild. You can tell the snake was severely distressed. I've treated just the superficial portion of his wounds with a light antibiotic. You can use a 5% Providine solution or betadine on reptiles, and there's other veterinarian supply things that you can use. But I treated those wounds mainly with an antibiotic, just like you'd rub on a wound on your kid or your own arm. And he has been doing very well. And right now I'm behind the camera. I'm about 3.5 feet from him, and I'm moving around somewhat. I'm not moving fast, but I am moving. And most normally this breed of snake, when it sees any movement that isn't prey, he perceives it as threat and is gone. Now this is an Oklahoma Coachwhip, and he's over 5 feet long. You can only see a few feet of him. The rest of him is up in the log on the warming pad. And these snakes are so fast, it's unreal. And they can grow to be very long. They can reach 8 feet. I've seen them that length, even longer. And the undulations their bodies make when they move out in a hurry, their head is 6-8 inches up off the ground. Their body is pushing so quickly and so strongly that they will actually leave large scuff marks in the dirt on the road. You look at him and you think, what the heck was that made that? But he seems to be doing all right. He's staying alert. He's staying in the warm spot in the habitat. He's been drinking water, and pretty sure I'm going to go out this evening and try to find him a couple little frogs. They love frogs. I've seen them chase frogs before. I'm going to go find him a few little frogs, but he's really a very cool creature. And for him to be really this calm while I'm just sitting here moving around, running the camera, sitting in my chair, moving and talking, not to be trying to take off and go spastic, that's pretty cool right there. I think he's realized, though, that I haven't meant him or intended him any harm. And he has dociled right up, just like a bull snake will. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to take care of him. I'm going to make sure his wounds get healed. Then I'm going to take him back out there. Nowhere near a windmill road, though. I'm going to take him down the river, a couple miles from where he was. And there's no windmills down there. There's no mesh. I'll take him down there and turn him loose. Give him a second chance at life. But it's really a cool thing for me to experience this, because I've been trying to catch one of these since I was a kid. And, you know, finally the only way to do it was to find one trapped. And like I said, there were 2 others with him, and they were longer and bigger, but they were already dead. I couldn't do anything for them. So anyway, just a cool little thing, you know. Hope I can get him healed up pretty quick. Give him a couple of weeks. He ought to be ready to roll. Very cool snake. I think once he's healed up very good, looks like he's about ready, I'm going to go ahead and try to get some video with me holding him. He didn't mind it at all once he realized I wasn't out to hurt him. And normally you see that in bull snakes, corn snakes, but on these racers, it's to get a racer to hold still in your hand. That's awesome. Okay, so see y'all later. Bye.